Hi everyone, I'm Nikki and welcome to the Fundamentals of Print Design. Before I even get started in any of the techniques behind print design, there's a few crucial items we need to discuss first. Now when you're talking about print design, the biggest thing that makes print design different from, say, design for the web is that a print design is always intended to be printed. So whether you're talking about a small postage stamp or a billboard, big or small, the end item is always printed and it's something that you can physically see away from a screen. Now with that in mind, there are two other items that make a print design very different from a design that you're going to work on for the web. The first item is the color mode that you use in print projects. You're always going to use CMYK, cyan, magenta, yellow, and the K stands for key, but most of you are going to recognize it as black. Now when it comes to CMYK color mode, it's actually describing the print process that printers use when they're printing your project. And basically they're taking the cyan, the magenta, the yellow, and they're keying that all together against each other on a white surface and subtracting the brightness away to get the final color. And that's where black comes in, because when you mix all of those colors together, you actually do get a form of black. Now, printers nowadays also use a very rich black because when you mix those together, it's not a very rich black. So they cheat a little bit in the overall process. Now, another thing to remember about CMYK is it can be a little bit duller than the RGB color space that's used for the web. And RGB stands for red, green, and blue. Now, RGB is typical of the screen for your computer. It's used for graphics on the web, and it's also used for the television screens that you're all very accustomed to. And the colors of RGB are vast, and they're usually a lot richer than what you see in print projects. But when it gets down to it, it's pretty subtle between the two, and you just can't get away from the fact that you're using CMYK in the print world. So just know that sometimes your web graphics are going to look a little bit more saturated and a little bit more rich than your print projects. The next thing to consider is image size. It is oh so important to have the highest quality image possible whenever you're designing for print. And this means you're going to need an image that's at least 300 dpi. And when it comes to dimensions, this can vary greatly depending on the original photo. But my general workspace rule of thumb is a 5:7 image or greater. Anything smaller than that and you're going to run into some quality issues during the reproduction of that photo or image. Now, a big question I get often is, can I take something that's 72 dpi and increase it to 300 dpi and call it good for my print project? Well, the quick answer is sure, you can do that. But the real answer is if you do that, you're going to sacrifice some major quality in your print project. And again, when it comes to print, the key thing is the end quality and the result. You want an image that is crisp and clear. You don't want it to be blurry and pixelated because you had a very small image to begin with. So you need to make sure that whatever graphics you're using, and this is photos or any other graphic, it's of the highest quality originally, because you can always scale that image down, but you cannot scale an image back up for a print project without sacrificing some serious end quality. So there you have some very brief and basic ideas behind all of your print projects. Again, it's going to be something that is intended to be printed out, something you're going to hold in your hand or see away from a screen. Your project is always going to have a CMYK color space. You always need to make sure that the images that you use are of the highest quality possible. If you can tackle those two and remember them for any of your future print projects, you're well on your way to developing a very successful design. So now that we've covered the basics of that, I'm going to show you some real-life print design examples from my own portfolio to get you started. Thanks for watching.